Here we go! Welcome to the Nintendo Power Zone, guys. It's your boy NyceOne, and we are back with a brand new unboxing video. And guys, it has begun. Today is February 20th of 2020, and if you went to your local GameStop, you were able to pick up the brand new An Afternoon with Eevee and Friends figure. And for this month, we have Eevee. This is a direct continuation of the A Day with Pikachu line, but this time the focus is on Eevee and its evolutions. I am so ecstatic to do this. I loved the A Day with Pikachu line, and I'm hoping to love this line just as much. So here's the back of the box, and right off the bat, completely different from the Pikachu line. Here they're advertising Pokemon Center items, which they didn't do in the previous line. Swinging to the side of the box, we have our first little descriptor, so let's go ahead and read that real quick. Enjoy an afternoon with Eevee and friends. Each month, join Eevee and its evolutions as they explore the world. Now, I'm finding it a little bit odd that they broke up the descriptions to different sides of the box, but I guess it is what it is. It's nice that we get a good look at the figures back here, and we see the silhouettes for the rest of the figures. Alright guys, this is the bottom of the box, and we have the rest of the description. Eevee await their friends. These adorable Eevee are ready to make new friends and explore the world of Pokemon. Catch a touch of Eevee's magic with the Afternoon with Eevee and Friends figures by Funko and Pokemon Center while you can. They won't last long. Now, this is a little bit different. These have not sold out on PokemonCenter.com as of yet, and this is a shared release with GameStop, so you can pick these up at your local GameStop. Now, inventory at your local GameStop is probably going to be very low, but at least you have an opportunity. So if you really want this figure, guys, go to your local GameStop or go to PokemonCenter.com before they do in fact sell out. Now, alright guys, before we go ahead and actually get this figure unboxed, I just wanted to do a little quick comparison between this packaging and the packaging between the A Day with Pikachu line. As you can see, the Eevee box is a little bit bigger, but what you should definitely notice is the size discrepancy between the Eevee figure and the Pikachu figures. Now, there's a lot more going on with the Eevee figure with there being two Eevees on the display, but I don't know if I like this change to the line. I was really happy with the overall size of the A Day with Pikachu line. We're going to get more into this during comparison time proper once we've unboxed the figure itself, but I just have to point out there is a significant difference in size from what I can see already. Anyway, with that said, it's time to get this guy out of the box. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have freed the Eevees from their packaging, and take a look. I'm up pretty close so you guys can see all the detail. This figure is really small, and I can't wait for comparison time to show you. But right off the bat, I am in love with the overall sculpt. This is as good as the A Day with Pikachu line, but the Eevees in this photo do not really match the stylized version of Eevee that you get in Pokemon Center merchandise. This is more in line with what you would see in game. I was wondering if they were going to do it. I'm a little disappointed that they aren't sticking with the Pokemon Center art style, but that being said, these still look pretty fantastic. These Eevees look adorable. Now, there are two different sexes here. The one on the left hand side of the screen is your male Eevee, and the one on the right is your female Eevee, and when you get a better look at their tails, you'll be able to differentiate them. So let's go ahead and start looking at this figure from different angles. Alright, looking at the figure from this angle, you can see that this is the female Eevee because the tail has that heart shape. They started doing this I think right around the time of Pokemon Let's Go. I could be wrong, but this is how you're going to differentiate male Eevees from female Eevees. Male Eevees will have more jagged tails, where the Eevees will have the heart shape. This is very similar to what they did with male and female Pikachu, with female Pikachus having the little heart shape in their tails as well. Anyway guys, take a look at this sculpt because there's a lot going on here. You have your Eevees romping on the grass. There are flowers, there are rocks, you have blades of grass that stick up. I love the fact that the grass is actually on top of a rocky section. This is a great sculpt. Despite the fact that the figure is very, very small. These are small Eevees, but the detail is really, really good. Funko knocked it out of the park. Alright, looking at the figure from this side, you can definitely see that this is the male Eevee. This is what I was talking about, where the male Eevees have a more jagged design in their tails. This is the cool way to differentiate your males from your females. I wish they did this with more Pokemon, because it just makes it easier to tell which you have in game. But I'm totally loving the sculpt of this figure, guys. Just look at it. So much going on in such a small little figure. I am thoroughly impressed by what Funko was able to do. Alright guys, it is comparison time, and what we have here is the very first figure from the A Day with Pikachu line, and this is the A Lucky Day Pikachu. And look at the size discrepancy between these two figures. Now granted, the Lucky Day Pikachu is the biggest A Day with Pikachu figure in the entire line, but still, it was a good standard to set for how big these figures should actually be. Now, the An Afternoon with Eevee figure being this small leaves me very conflicted. On the one hand, I'm impressed with the sculpt because the sculpt work didn't take a hit, especially when you consider that they've altered the scale for this line. I really don't know how to feel about this. On one hand, I am so thoroughly impressed by the sculpt work that Funko was able to do on such a small figure. On the other, I missed the size of the A Day with Pikachu line already. This does not bode well for how I score this in the end, to be honest, because you guys know me and I always think that bigger is better, and I always kept saying that the A Day with Pikachu line, it felt like the figures were getting smaller and smaller. Well, this looks like the natural evolution of the figures getting smaller. This is tiny by comparison, guys. Moving on with comparison time, I went ahead and grabbed all the other figures that I have from the A Day with Pikachu line, and I did this for a very specific reason. The An Afternoon with Eevee line is going to be significantly different than the A Day with Pikachu line. As you can see here, the A Day with Pikachu figures, they're all individual, and they all represent some type of holiday or theme for the month that they came out in. Now, with the An Afternoon with Eevee and Friends line, what's going to happen is that this is sort of like a build-a-display set. Each of the 9 figures in this set will make one giant diorama display featuring Eevee and the other Eeveelutions, which is a fantastic idea, and that probably is the reason why that the figures themselves got smaller than the A Day with Pikachu line. And if that's the case, then I'm all for them making smaller figures, although I will say again that I'm going to miss the overall size of the A Day with Pikachu line. But when you consider that this is going to make a fairly massive display of Eevee and its Eeveelutions, that is super exciting. One thing to make note of though is if you miss one of these, it is way worse than missing one of the A Day with Pikachu lines, because you will not be able to complete the diorama if you miss one of these figures. So guys, if you like this, go ahead and get your orders in now, because missing one will F you in the long run. Moving on with comparison time, we have the 10-inch Funko Pop Eevee, and this is one of my all-time favorite pops, especially within the Pokemon line. And take a look, guys, in comparison to the An Afternoon with Eevee and Friends figure, huge size discrepancy, and of course there should be. This is a 10-inch pop standing next to like a 2.5-inch figure, but gotta say, Funko has been nailing the Pokemon designs in every line that they're doing, and they just announced more Pokemon Pops coming out. We're getting Mewtwo, Mr. Mime, Pichu, and Vulpix. They all look fantastic as well. I'm so happy this partnership between Funko and the Pokemon Company has continued going forward, and I am so excited to see what else comes out with the An Afternoon with Eevee set, because the Eeveelutions are some of the most adored and fun evolutions in the Pokemon franchise. You know that they have to take care when making this line, and again guys, ever since Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee came out, having Eevee as a secondary mascot for the Pokemon franchise has been huge, and I like that Funko was smart enough to capitalize on that. Now I don't know if that was a Funko decision or a Pokemon Company decision, but either way, I love the fact that Eevee is getting all the love it deserves as a secondary mascot. Alright guys, it's time to go ahead and move into score time, alright? Ladies and gentlemen, it is score time, my favorite time. Why? Because I get to tell you whether or not something is actually worth your hard-earned money. This is retailing for $15.99 on either PokemonCenter.com or through GameStop because it is a shared release. Anyway guys, let's go ahead and get into the figure. As far as its sculpt and design are concerned, this is fantastic. Funko has yet again done a great job with this special series of figures. The A Day with Pikachu line was fantastic, and from a design standpoint, the Afternoon with Eevee and Friends figures are going to be just as good, if not quite as stylized as the A Day with Pikachu line. That being said, we have great sculpt work all across the board, and when you consider that they did that in a smaller, scale, that's even more impressive. But what I am going to do here is I am going to admonish Funko for making these figures smaller. I don't feel like they really had to. Now I know that this is one part of a larger set, but I don't think you had to sacrifice the size of the A Day with Pikachu line. I think you would have made a lot more people happy had you had the size relatively comparable to the A Day with Pikachu line. This just feels a little too small, and while I know it's just one piece of a larger set, it just doesn't quite sit right with me. So guys, overall I'm gonna go ahead and give this figure a 9 out of 10. It does get our Nintendo Power Zone seal of approval. I only have one negative thing to say about this figure, which is really impressive because Funko has continuously done amazing things with the Pokemon line, and I hope they continue to do more. We have 9 figures for this Eevee line, and then I hope they move into something else because I don't want them to stop doing this specialized series of figures. They are doing a fantastic job. Let's get some legendaries in the mix. I would love that wholeheartedly, starting with like Mew and Mewtwo and moving on all the way to Zacian and Zamazenta. Let's get it, Funko. Let's do more freaking Pokemon. Anyway guys, it's time for me to go ahead and get out of your hair, but before I let you go, I gotta hit you up with the social media links. You can hit me up on Twitter at NyceOne983. You can email me at NyceOne983@gmail.com. You can hit me up on Facebook, Facebook.com/Nintendo Power Zone. If you're a fan of the Nintendo Power Zone podcast, you can always download new episodes on iTunes, Google Play Music, stream episodes on Spotify and Stitcher Radio. But if you want to watch the live version of the show, you gotta check us out right here on YouTube, youtube.com/Nintendo Power Zone. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and remember to stay fresh. Deuces.